Hello. Rings, circles and hoops are an ever recurrent and very popular theme through all aspects of balloon decor and for every occasion you can imagine. And Christmas is no different. The ring or the wreath is a really popular Christmas icon and style. So I'd like to put together 3 different variations of Christmas wreaths that are really very, very simple to put together. And I'm going to start with the easiest one, which basically just uses 260 modelling balloons. I'm going to use 3 here for the main body of the wreath. I've got Fashion Forest Green, Reflex Gold and Reflex Lime Green. I've inflated them fully and let a little bit of air out so they're a little bit soft so that you can work with them without fear of them bursting too easily. Try and stretch them or inflate them so they're all the same length, or as close as you can reasonably get. A little bit of stretching after you've inflated it will just increase the length a little bit more if you need it, and get them as close to the same length as you can. Line them all up like this and just twist all 3 together so that we've got 3 little bubbles on the top, and I'm just going to wrap those around and over and through a few times to make sure that the balloons are well anchored together, because what we're going to do now is to just plait them. Very, very simple and very basic braid, like so. Don't worry about getting it too tight, but we do want it as even as reasonably possible. And then when you get to the end, twist them together again, and if they are slightly uneven, as they are in this case, I'm literally just going to deflate that. It's a bit tight, so I'll deflate it slowly so that I can put a little bubble in there to match. There we go, tie it off. Then you just need to encourage it into the circular shape we want. We don't want to bend it flat, we want to curve it around this way so that we can see the plait. So just bend it around and then twist the little bobbles on the ends all together to anchor the 2 ends, and just ease it into the circle like that. We need a bow, so we have a 260 in Reflex Crystal Red, almost fully inflated, just leave a little bit at the end like so. And we're going to start with the tail of one tail of the bow, like that. Make a loop, twist it in, make another loop, twist it in, like so, which gives us the bow shape. But to keep it in position, we'll just put a pinch twist at the front and the back. So a small bubble, twist it onto itself there, go through to the other side, another small bubble, twist it onto itself there, and that gives us our bow. Trim this remaining tail to the length you want. Tie it off and remove the excess from this end and the neck roll from that end. And if we just use that little bit of remaining balloon, we can pull it through. Oops, never mind, don't worry, I have another one that I will show you in a minute. So, but pull that through there, and you can use that to attach it to cover up the join at the bottom of the ring. Now, you can decorate this up however you like. You could leave it as it is if you want it nice and simple, but you can add various types of decoration, whatever takes your fancy. But one thing that has appealed to me is this, which is the Creative Wreath Kit from Amscan. And basically it is a collection of little cut-out shapes and a wreath that you can stick them onto, but I don't need the wreath because I've just made another one. And I'm just going to use these, just pop them out from here and stick them onto your wreath with glue dots or balloon bond or whatever takes your fancy, and that's what you'll end up with. And I think it looks really cute. So there's a simple one, really simple one. They're all simple, but that one is the most basic. I'll move on to this one, which is made from link-o-loons and clusters of 4 balloons here. So basically what we've got is a chain of 6 Fashion Forest Green 12-inch link-o-loons that have inflated to 8 inches in diameter. So if you were sizing these as a normal balloon, it's 8 inches across, but that means they're 9 inches long. So whichever you prefer as your method of measuring either length or diameter, it's 8 inches in diameter, 9 inches long. And then I've got 6 clusters of 5-inch balloons. In this case we've got reflex crystal red and satin white. These are sized to 4 inches. And I'm going to wrap one of these around each joint in the link-o-loon circle. And I want to keep the colours in the same orientation. So I'm going to put, in this case, I think the red to the inside and the white to the outside. Go all the way round, adding your 6 clusters, like so. Okay. Now, to jazz it up a little bit and give it some sparkle, I'm going to use bubble chains made from 260 Reflex Gold, and these are twisted in advance so that you don't have to watch me do loads of them. If you need a tutorial into how to do these, there are plenty of other instances in many other videos on the Amscan Decorator Hub. But basically the big trick to remember is to inflate your balloon halfway. So fold the balloon in half, find where the middle point is, inflate it to that point, and then just twist your bubbles one after the other, and you will get to the end with the maximum amount of bubbles possible, and that's what you need. So take your bubble chain, remember never to let go of either end, and I'm going to start by wrapping the knot end into one of these clusters and pulling it through so that it comes out underneath the red clusters, or between and underneath the red clusters. You take it diagonally across the link-o-loon, push it back into the centre of the cluster, the next cluster, all the way through, out the other side, and then diagonally across this. So one bubble chain will cover 2 balloons, and twist it off like so. And then we will repeat that all the way round. I've been a little bit ambitious here because I've tied 2 bubble chains together to make an extra long one. And with luck, I shouldn't lose it, and we should be able to get all the way around then the rest of the design in one. So twist that through, comes out of the bottom of that cluster, across the top of the link-o-loon and into the top of the next. All the way through. Whoops. Out of the bottom of that cluster, across the link-o-loon into the top of the next. All the way through. And then tie it off into the top of that cluster there. A little bit of adjustment to make sure everything's sitting properly. That's what we're looking for. I've now got a standard Merry Christmas foil in Satin Luxe finish, which is lovely, with the red poinsettia. And this will fit nice and neatly into the centre of the wreath. As long as you've got your sizing right, that will sit there perfectly like that. And then just to add a last little bit of detail, and I do actually need a glue dot, which I don't have, so I'll just hold it in place for now. I forgot to bring that with me, but I'm just going to stick the 9-inch mini shaped poinsettia that matches this onto the side there to complete it. So again, very simple but highly effective using the techniques that we've just done. So put that one down there. And then the last one, a little bit more intricate you might think, but actually still pretty simple. We've got everything we need in here. So this time it's basically a standard garland, and to make life simple, to remember the recipe, I've used 100 balloons in this, or will have when I've completed it, which basically means 25 clusters of 4. Each cluster has one balloon in it that is sized to 3.5 inches, and the other 3 are smaller than that. So one of them is 3.5, the other 3 are smaller. And that will give us the slightly organic, slightly knobbly effect that I'm after. I've used a random collection of greens. So I've actually got, I think, 5 different shades of green. We've got eucalyptus and reflex lime green, metallic lime green, forest green, different greens, and 20 of each. And I basically counted my 20 of each into a bag like this, jumbled them all up, take 4 out and use them. I'm not going to get involved in trying to work out which colours I need next. I want a nice random effect, so jumble them all up and use the first 4 that come out to make your cluster, and just work your way through. So it's really simple to work it out as to how it goes. And then I built the garland on a single 260, so I started at this end and just worked my way all the way along, wrapping the clusters on one at a time, like so. Then a single 260 is plenty to get all the way to the end. Once you've got to the end, you can then tie the remaining 260 back into here to join the ends together. And that will give us the ring. A little bit of tweaking and adjustment, and just sort of shuffle them around a little bit so that it sits flat and gives you a nice neat circle. So no frame, nothing at all. It's just all entirely self-supporting under its own tension. I'm going to decorate this up a little bit with just some very small reflex crystal red and reflex gold berries. So these are inflated to about 2 inches, and I'm just using the neck of the balloon to tie them in. I think probably about half a dozen of each, 6 of each will do. Pull the neck through, wrap it around the balloon. And that will secure it nicely. There we go. Now to make the bow, I've used a 5-inch reflex crystal red, which I've inflated and deflated 2 or 3 times so that it's well stretched and quite oversized. And then this is a 6-inch red heart, which I'm going to put inside. If I can get it in there, there we go. And then if I inflate the red heart, it will give us that shape, which forms half of your bow. The tails are reflex crystal red 260, pinch twist on either side, and that's it. I've given a little bit of a kink to give it some character, and I'll just tie that into the wreath as well. And there's that one. So they all look pretty good, but they're all very basic when you all break them down.